today we are going to be making bath bomb embeds. Actually, I have an order to make bath bombs, and they are specifically unscented, and I don't have any unscented embeds, so we are going to make completely unscented embeds today in a couple of different colors. Why don't we go ahead and get started? The first thing we need is a cup of baking soda, which I have already pre-sifted and gotten all the lumps out of. And to that cup of baking soda, we are going to add a teaspoon of melted coconut oil, a teaspoon of 91% rubbing alcohol, a half of a teaspoon of polysorbate 80, which makes it so that your colors, glitters, anything else that you might add into your embeds or bath bombs or whatever you're making doesn't leave a color ring or a ring of glitter around your bathtub. It's an emulsifier, so it makes it so it all mixes in your water. This would also be where if you were making just one solid color of embeds, where you would add your colorant if you were using a liquid colorant. If you were using micas, you would add them at a later time. And we add the liquids into the baking soda. Make sure you get it all. Don't want to waste anything. And use your whisk and mix that in to your baking soda really well. Now, it's not going to seem like it's mixing really well, so you're going to end up having to use your hands here to make sure that you get all the liquid added in. Now, before I do any more mixing, I'm going to add this. This is a teaspoon of SLSA, which is sodium lauryl sulfacetate, which is what I add to make it so my embeds foam, and also a half a teaspoon of extra fine bio glitter. Now you just want to get your hands in here really well and just make sure you have everything all mixing in. Oh, hold on. My extra hands are going to come in here for a minute. Can you pull my Fitbit off, please?
Oh, yeah.
It's already unhooked.
Oh, I see that now. There we go.
All right. And you want to make sure you get this all mixed in really good, because the better you get this all mixed in together, the less it's going to activate your citric acid ahead of time. Now, you want to always add your citric acid last, because if you don't add your citric acid last, you're going to end up activating your citric acid, and then you're not going to have that really nice fizz that you want from your bath bombs. Okay, so now that I've got that all mixed in, you always want to make sure you use a strainer so you don't have any lumps in your citric acid. This is 1 cup of citric acid. So when you're making bath bombs, you use 2 parts baking soda, 1 part citric acid. When you're making embeds, you use 1 part baking soda, 1 part citric acid, so that you have that really nice fizz that makes your bath bombs just spin and float around in your tub. You want to make sure that it sticks together and clumps like kind of damp sand when you are mixing this all together. If you don't get to where it's quite that way, you want to have a spray bottle that has 91% alcohol in it. And you only want to do this a couple sprays at a time because it doesn't take much to get the right amount of moisture. It really depends on what your weather is, where you live, and what your humidity is in your house. Living in the Pacific Northwest, we have a lot of moisture, so it doesn't take me near as much alcohol to get this to the consistency you want. So you want to have it so it clumps like this in your hand, and then if you drop it in the bowl, it stays together. So this is the perfect consistency now, right where I want it. So now we're going to split this off into a couple different bowls. So we can do different colors. I'm just going to randomly split this off into a couple different colors. And then I'm going to go over here to my little basket of goodness and figure out what colors I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go with purple. And actually, which color do I already have purple. We'll go with seafoam and pink and blue. Now, all you're going to do is, I'm using liquid. A lot of people use micas. I have some micas coming. I just don't have any right yet. So be careful because this will activate your mix. So you don't want to use a whole lot. And it doesn't take a whole lot to color your mix. But you do want to get in there with your hands and make sure that you really mix it in good, because otherwise you'll see that you get streaks and you'll end up with spots of darker color in your embeds than you really want. So this one's going to be the blue. And you can kind of see that it's bubbling, and you don't want that. You want as little bubble as possible. And see how it's all speckly and blue? That's why you want to get in there with your hands and make sure you get it all mixed in there really well. Get that colorant all mixed in. Otherwise you'll end up with little weird streaks popping out of your embeds when your bath bomb exposes your colored embeds. Now, the reason I'm making these little colored unscented embeds for this order is that the woman I'm making these for, her husband is allergic to scent. But why should anybody not get to use bath bombs just because they're allergic to scent? I mean, when it's just this easy to make it so she can enjoy them as much as anybody else. My pink does not want to be pink. So let's get this all mixed in. Alright, now once you've got all of your colors mixed into your embed mix, this is what happens when you put your citric acid in at the same time as everything else. Your bath bomb explodes and foams into nothingness. That was originally this. And yeah, that was not what I was going for. That's what happens when you make a mistake. Those will just be ground down with a cheese grater and turned into bath bomb powder, which will also be another video. So for this, to make your embeds, I just use a little 1/4 teaspoon and I pack it against the side, pack it down, and there's my embed. So you just tap it out. Oh, that one broke. Make sure you pack them in really well so they don't do that. You just smack them out. Now I also have scented embeds that I do for my regular bath bombs. They're just done the same way, except I use whatever leftover bath bomb powder I have when I'm making bath bombs, and I turn those into my embeds. So it's not very often that I have to specifically make just embeds. Can you go in and get me the two molds that I have in on the 2 trays I have in on my craft table? There's one other way that I make embeds. These are just, they're ice cube trays that have silicone in the bottom. So I just use these and fill these up with embed powder. Really, really large embeds. So if you just want to do one embed in the middle of a bath bomb, that's what these ice cube trays are good for. And these are the small ice cube trays. Now sometimes I'll put more than one color in an embed, just because, you know, it's more exciting to have more colors burst out of your surprise bath bomb. So for her bath bombs that I make, I always make them heart-shaped, but they are always white, and they always have salts, colored salts on the top of them, and that'll be the next video I do. Well, I'm going to keep doing videos, so you'll see how I make all my other bath bombs eventually. There's so many ways, and there's so many recipes going on. I'm going to try other recipes that have other ingredients, and we'll just see how other recipes work. This so far is my favorite recipe I've ever found for embeds. But there are recipes that you can use with things that you just have around your house. Baking soda, Epsom salt, olive oil, essential oils, coconut oil. There's so many different things that you can do. So now for these in this tray, I'll just leave these sit for a few hours, and then I'll come back and I will pop them out, and they will be ready to go right inside her wonderful bath bombs that she loves so much. And that is how we make bath bomb embeds for surprise bath bombs. So this is how I make my embeds for my surprise bath bombs. If you enjoyed my video, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and hit the notification bell so you know when I release more videos. Thanks. Bye.